Hi, hello, and welcome or welcome back to Everso. I'm Ever, and today I will be reading a one-shot, a really quick one, called My Baby by LotsieLotto MHA. Summary. Class 1A has 20 members. That's a well-known fact. Only 3 people know that they are actually 21 members of Class 1A. Or, after a long, exhausting day at UA, Tokoyami goes back to his dorm, his class none the wiser at the fact his quirk isn't just sentient. It is an entirely different person, and they're twins. Fumikage Tokoyami was a liar, and no one but 3 people, including himself, knew this. It was a pretty harmless lie, one that helped pretty much everyone involved, but a lie nonetheless. The thoughts, such as these, were what circled in his mind as he moved past the concerned faces of some of his classmates. It was a pretty regular class. However, it had completely exhausted the both, Tokoyami and his quirk, especially considering he had been up against Bakugo. "Tokoyami, are you okay?" Momo asked, her hands together in front of her chest with worry. Tokoyami merely nodded and excused himself. As soon as he shut the door to his room and the darkness enveloped him, his shoulders sunk down with relief, allowing all the pain he felt to finally drag him down. His head tilted up, now looking up to the shadow looming over him. Many would be unsettled, but Tokoyami knew full well who it was. It was his quirk, the secret that only himself, his quirk, and his mother were aware of was a fully separate and mostly important sentient person from himself. "Kakago?" Tokoyami said quietly. The shadow leaned down, having now donned some of Tokoyami's clothes. "Fumi, I'm so tired," the shadow exclaimed, helping him up. Tokoyami nodded, undoing his tie before pulling a hoodie over his shirt. He wasn't bothered getting changed properly now, despite how much comfier it would probably be. "I know, Kage, I have some homework to do, but we could watch a movie, perhaps?" he asked, relaxing further as Kakago excitedly as they could muster at the moment, grabbing their laptop and pulling up Flixnet. Tokoyami went to sit at his desk and write as Kakago picked them a movie to watch, humming softly as they did. A couple of moments startling his English homework, he looked over to his sibling, remembering when they had first met. It was a scare for all of them, of course. His mother had been rather unfortunate. She's been expecting twins, a boy and a girl, but as many mutation-type quirks, they came with risk with pregnancy. His father said his mother cried tears of joy. He did too, though he won't admit it, when they found out they were having twins. Their parents had been so incredibly happy, but as it neared the beginning of the second trimester and the time for her to get a checkup, the doctors confirmed that it seems one of the twins was missing. Vanishing twin syndrome, they called it. One half being reabsorbed by the sibling. The parents were heartbroken to have gotten their hopes so high only to lose one. He remembered his mother telling him that his father practically had forced her to eat after that for a while. He was glad he did, or he probably wouldn't have been here that day. When he was finally born, his parents cried tears of joy again. A perfect baby boy. But also shed some tears of sadness, knowing they could have had a perfect baby girl along with him. Fumikage. That's your new name, baby? His mother cried as she hugged him, as if he would break if she held him too hard. He probably would. He grew up learning of his sister, a girl he wouldn't get to meet. He felt lonely, especially once the kids at school picked on him for having such useless quirk. Bird head! What's the point then? They mocked and bullied him. I don't want to go back to school, he cried in his mother's arms as she held him. It had been hard then, only after a year after his father's death. His mother tried and did her best, but he could still hear her crying through the walls. He wondered if she would cry less if Kake was here. His mother looked at him with sadness before pressing a kiss to his head and going to get him a snack after comforting him. He wobbled as he stood up when she walked out to the room. He was only 4, so clumsy. As he wobbled, he felt his foot hit one of the toys and he began to fall down, bracing for hurt. But he didn't feel sore. Opening his eyes, there was a little girl, smaller than him, or he thought they were a girl, just a shadow with bright yellow eyes and a beak-like face. "Oh, okay?" the girl asked quietly, and Tokoyami, which he cringes at every moment he remembers, screamed at the top of his lungs, and the shadow screamed too, covering her face up and backing up, only to smack into one of the vases on the table and for it to come crashing down, shattering on impact. His mother rushes in, eyes wide in panic. "Are you okay, Fumi?" She stopped in her tracks upon seeing the shadow and quickly grabbed him from Kage and held him close, trying to protect him from the intruder. Who are you? How did you get in here?" The shadow stared up at his mother, glowing tears building in its eyes. I... The shadow backed up, stepped on glass with its talons, and quickly looked even more upset. I'm sorry," it sobbed, rushing to grab some of the broken pieces of the lurky empty vase with its claws on its hands. I didn't mean to fix," they cried, their voice shaky like a child as they grabbed the pieces, trying shakily to put them back together with sheer will and a lot of fear. Both Fumikage and his mother stared in disbelief as the shadow sobbed over the pieces of pottery and tried to fix it. His mother looked at him for a moment, before gently putting him down behind her and getting closer to the shadow. "Hey there, little one. Could you tell me how you got here? Where are your parents?" she asked gently. The shadow looked up from the pieces, still in tears. I fixed. Don't worry about that now. What's your name?" His mother interrupted gently, taking a piece of vase from the shadow's hands, careful not to cut either of them. The shadow covered their face, trying to wipe the tears. Kako thing? The shadow looked down like they were trying to get the name right. Ko. The more they spoke, the more tears came out, like they were trying to find the right word and couldn't. His mother's eyes widened a fraction before starting down at the shadow. Kakego? His mother asked, eyes swelling with tears. Is that you? She asked softly, hands shaking as she reached out. The shadow lit up at the name. Me, Kakego, they said before wiping their face. They didn't even get a chance to pull their hand away before being hugged tight by Fumi, Kageko's mother. The little shadow was wide-eyed before slowly shutting their eyes and relaxing into their mother's hug. Back to the present, Kakego was now staring at Fumi as he thought about that. Fumi, if you're not going to do the homework, then come help pick what to watch, they pouted. Fumikage relaxed, shutting his homework book before walking over to bed and sitting next to his twin. They had to keep Kakego, their own person, a secret. Kakego was a slow learner. They didn't like learning anything rating-based, and usually that would matter, but Kakego seemed very adamant that they didn't want to leave Fumigage's side anyways, and he liked knowing he wasn't alone, so they did this. The two fell asleep slowly after the film went on, curled up just like when they were kids. Neither would change anything from the word. And that's it. It's really short, this one, but I think really pretty. And there are some notes from the author. First off, the name Kakego literally means shadow girl. I know it's kind of lazy, but I feel like it really fits and it made me happy to find. Kakego's quirk is pretty much just what dark shadow is to others. They can change their shape and size and get stronger in dark. However, what others don't know is that they can bond themselves to people and act as protection for whoever it is they are shadowing. However, the only two people that have ever been bonded with are Fumikage and their mother. Kakego doesn't care about gender, they just kinda exist and enjoy it. The reason they have kinda broken English, or technically Japanese but schematics, is due to the fact that they hadn't really been lucid for the whole first 4 years of their life. They learned some words, but not enough to speak fluently. And that's it for the fic. Now I get to enjoy drawing a thumbnail for this, which will take infinitely longer than the recording itself, but oh well, such a fate I had chosen for myself. But I had hoped you had enjoyed it. It is a really short one, this one, but quite sweet. Yeah. So as always, have a great night or day, and bye-bye.